Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about De Moivre's theorem in complex numbers. What is the statement of De Moivre's theorem? Given any complex number cos theta plus I sin theta for any integer n, cos theta plus I sin theta for any integer n, this whole power n is equal to cos n theta plus I sin n theta. That is nothing but taking the power inside. So this is De Moivre's theorem statement for any complex number cos theta plus I sin theta for and any integer n, cos theta plus I sin theta is equal to cos n theta plus I sin n theta. So this is the statement of De Moivre's theorem. Now, we have some properties below this De Moivre's theorem. The first property here is cos theta minus I sin theta whole power n is equal to cos n theta minus I sin n theta. So, when you are having minus inside, it is simply bringing the power inside. Next, number 2, cos theta plus I sin theta whole power minus n is equal to cos theta cos n theta minus I sin n theta. So, when you are having the power of minus, when you are taking inside, it will become as minus. And number 3, cos theta minus I sin theta whole power minus n. So, minus into minus it will become as plus. So, we will get the answer as cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Last one, number 4, sin theta plus I cos theta. So, here we are not having in the form of cis, that is cos theta plus I sin theta. It is in the form of sin theta plus I cos theta. So, for this we can take I outside and we can write it as cos theta minus I sin theta. So, whenever we are having sin theta as the first term, we can take I outside and we can write it as cos theta minus I sin theta. So, these are the 4 properties come under De Moivre's theorem. So, De Moivre's theorem is nothing but taking the power inside when it is in the form of cos theta plus I sin theta. Okay. So, now let us move to an example. Example 2.28. So, it is given that z is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, and we need to show that first one is z power n plus 1 by z power n is equal to 2 cos n theta. This is to prove, and the second condition is we have to prove that z power n minus 1 by z power n is equal to 2I sin n theta. So, these two things we are going to prove by using the given z. So, z is given. First, let us find out what is z power n. So, z power n is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n. So, using De Moivre's theorem, we can bring the power inside. So, cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Okay. So, let us take this as equation number 1. Now, we can find out what is 1 by z power n. 1 by z power n is nothing but z power n the whole inverse. So, whole inverse is nothing but taking the conjugate of z power n. Conjugate means we have to take only the sign of I should be changed. So, 1 by z power n is nothing but cos n theta minus I sin n theta. So, take this as equation number 2. Now, adding 1 and 2, because here we need to add this. So, first subdivision, adding 1 and 2. 1 plus 2 implies z power n plus 1 by z power n. Adding the LHS, Now add the RHS. Minus I sin n theta and plus I sin n theta will get cancelled. So you will get 2 cos n theta. Hence we proved the first condition. Now what is second? Zn minus 1 by z by n. So we have to subtract. 1 minus 2 implies z power n minus 1 by z power n. So when you are subtracting cos n theta minus cos n theta, it will become a 0. I sin n theta plus I sin n theta. So it will become as 2I sin n theta. So we have proved the two cases, hence proved. Now let us move to the next example. Next example. Example 2.29. Okay, simplify. We are having sin pi by 6 plus I cos pi by 6 whole power 18. Okay, here first we have to see that it starts with sin theta. So we have to change it in the form of cis. So first step is to write down sin pi by 6 plus I cos pi by 6. Students, be clear that after changing as cos is theta only, you can bring the power inside. When it is in the form of sin theta plus I cos theta, you should not bring the power inside. So how can you change this? Taking I outside. So it is nothing but I taking I outside, it will become as cos pi by 6 minus I sin pi by 6. Okay. So now we have changed the term. Now we have to take the power of 18. So raising to the power of 18, next step, sin pi by 6 plus I cos pi by 6 whole to the power 18 is equal to I to the power 18, taking the power for I also, cos pi by 6 minus I sin pi by 6 whole power 18. Now what is I power 18? I power 16 is 1. So we are getting I square. So taking the multiple of 4, we are getting I square into, we can bring the power inside, 18 pi by 6 minus I sin 18 pi by 6. Now we can cancel this, it will become as 3 pi, and here also it will become as 3 pi. What is I square? I square value is minus 1, and this is cos 3 pi plus minus I sin 3 pi. So we know that already cos n pi is equal to minus 1 whole power n. Sin n pi is equal to 0. So now we can write this as minus 1 into cos 3 pi. So minus 1 whole power 3, okay, minus sin n pi is 0. So this term will become as 0. Minus 1 whole power 3, power is odd, so the answer will be minus 1. So minus 1 into minus 1, answer is equal to 1. So the answer for sin pi by 6 plus I cos pi by 6 whole power 18 is equal to 1. Let us move to the exercise problem. Exercise 2.8. Students, all must have to copy all these problems in your notebook. Do the homework using black pen, and the classwork problems can be done in the blue pen. So don't forget to copy all this and bring it on the first reopening day. Okay. Now it is given that question number 1, if omega is not equal to 1, is a cube root of unity. If omega is a cube root of unity, that implies always omega cube is equal to 1. You will study this in tomorrow class about nth root of unity. So I am simply saying what is cube root of unity. Cube root of unity means omega cube value will be equal to 1. Cube root, so there will be 3 roots. 3 roots can be taken as 1 plus omega square is equal to 0. So omega cube is equal to 1. 1 plus omega square. Sum of the 3 roots will be equal to 0. That's the meaning for omega is the cube root of unity. Now we need to show that a plus b omega plus c omega square divided by b plus c omega plus a omega square plus a plus b omega plus c omega square divided by c plus a omega plus b omega square is equal to minus 1. So this we are going to prove using the condition of omega cube equal to 1 and 1 plus omega square equal to 0. So to prove this, let us take our LHS. So we are going to multiply the LHS by omega square. Numerator and denominator should be multiplied with omega square. So omega square into a plus b omega plus c omega square divided by omega square into b plus c omega plus a omega square plus again we are going to multiply this term with omega square a plus b omega plus c omega square divided by omega square into c plus a omega plus b omega square. Okay. Now we are going to multiply inside with omega square. So the terms will become as a omega square plus b omega cube. Omega cube is nothing but it is equal to 1 since omega is a cube root of unity. C omega power 4. C omega power 4 means omega cube will become as 1. So here we will get only omega divided by b omega square plus c omega cube plus a omega power 4. Here plus a omega square plus b omega cube plus c omega power 4 divided by c omega square plus a omega cube plus b omega power 4. So now we are going to change omega cube is equal to 1 and omega power 4 is equal to omega. Since omega power 4 can be written as omega cube into omega, so your answer will be omega. So now we can write here as a omega square plus b plus c omega divided by b omega square plus c plus a omega Before moving to this, let us take omega outside in the numerator. Take omega outside in the numerator, it will become as a omega plus b omega square plus c. C, because here we will have C, omega cube and omega can be taken outside, so it will become as C divided by, this will become as b omega square plus c plus a omega. So now we are getting the same term in the numerator and the denominator. So after multiplying with omega square, you can take omega outside in the numerator alone. Here we have to take omega square outside because we need to get a in the numerator. So omega square can be taken outside. A plus b omega plus c omega square. So taking omega square outside, we are getting the denominator as c omega square plus a plus b omega. So now the numerator and the denominator having the same term, you can cancel this. So you are getting here only the term omega will be here, and here you are getting omega square. So this is nothing but we already know that 1 plus omega square equal to 0. So what is omega plus omega square? It is nothing but equal to minus 1. So we can write it as equal to minus 1, that is equal to RHS. Hence we proved the problem number 1. So we have to multiply with omega square and take omega from the first numerator and omega square from the second numerator. You will get the answer. Okay. Now let us move with the next problem. Problem number 2. Show that root 3 by 2 plus I by 2 whole power 5 plus root 3 by 2 minus I by 2 whole to the power 5 is equal to minus root 3. So show that. Okay. We are having the power of 5, but inside we are having some complex number. We have to change it in the form of polar form. So how to take the polar form for root 3 by 2 plus I by 2? Yesterday we have seen how to write the polar form. So first let us consider, let z is equal to x plus iy, that is equal to root 3 by 2 plus I by 2. So here x is equal to root 3 by 2 and y is equal to 1 by 2. And z lies in first quadrant because both are positive. Z lies in first quadrant. So we can write everything. Now we can find out what is r. R is equal to, what is the formula for r? Root of x square plus y square. So this is equal to root of, we have to square this. So it will become as root 3 square is 3 divided by 2 square is 4 plus 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4. So your answer is 4 by 4. So that is nothing but r is equal to 1. So we got what is r. And then we need to find out what is z. Since z lies in, what is theta? Z lies in first quadrant. It lies in first quadrant. Theta is equal to, that implies theta is equal to alpha. So what is alpha? Tan inverse of y by x. Modulus, since it is in first quadrant, we can take it as positive. So tan inverse of y is 1 by 2 and the denominator x is root 3 by 2. So when you are cancelling 2, you will get tan inverse of 1 by root 3. So where you will get a tan inverse of 1 by root 3? It is in 30 degree. So the radian for 30 degree is pi by 6. So theta is equal to pi by 6. So we got what is theta. So for the first term we got the polar form. Let us write down the polar form for the first term. Root 3 by 2 plus I by 2 raising to the power of 5 is equal to 1 to the power 5, r to the power 5. Here we have to write cos pi by 6 plus I sin pi by 6 whole to the power of 5. Now we need to get the next term, that is root 3 by 2 minus I by 2 whole to the power 5. It is nothing but we can write similarly. Similarly, we can change, replace the sign of minus I as minus I. So we will get 1 power 5 into cos pi by 6, replace I by minus I. So minus I into sin pi by 6 whole to the power of 5. So this can be rewritten as cos 5 pi by 6 plus I sin 5 pi by 6. Similarly, here we can write it as cos 5 pi by 6 minus I sin 5 pi by 6. Okay. So now let us take this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. What's the problem for us to find out? Whether we have to check whether we have to do the addition or subtraction. Here we need to add these two. So we are going to add the first equation plus second equation implies. What it implies, we have to add this side first. So root 3 by 2 plus I by 2 whole to the power 5 plus root 3 by 2 minus I by 2 whole to the power 5. Whenever we are adding, minus I sign and plus sign will get cancelled. So we will get 2 cos 5 pi by 6. So how can you split 5 pi by 6? 5 pi can be taken as a multiple of 6 and subtract. So we can write this as 2 cos 6 pi minus 5 by 6. First we can replace 5 pi as 6 pi minus 5. Now separate again 2 cos. When you are taking 6 pi by 6, 6 and 6 will get cancelled. So pi minus minus pi by 6. So you are getting pi minus pi by 6. What is cos 180 minus theta? 180 minus theta lies in second quadrant and their cos is negative. So you will get minus 2 cos pi by 6. What is the value for pi by 6? So it is nothing but 2 cos minus 2 cos minus cos pi by 6 value we can substitute here. So minus 2 into root 3 by 2. Pi by 6 is nothing but cos 30. So cos 30 value is root 3 by 2. On cancelling 2, we will get the answer as minus root 3. So hence we have proved that sum of these two complex number is equal to minus 3. This is to be proved in the second problem. Okay. Now let us move to the third problem. Find the value of 1 plus sin pi by 10 plus I cos pi by 10 whole to the power 10. Denominator is there. One plus sin pi by 10 minus I cos pi by 10. So we are going to find the value for this problem. So to find the value for this problem, we have to check first it is in the form of sin and cos, starting with sin and ending with cos. So let us consider first, let Z is equal to sin pi by 10 plus I cos pi by 10. So what is 1 by Z? 1 by Z is nothing but sin pi by 10. When you are taking the conjugate and multiplying and dividing the numerator, you will get minus I cos pi by 10. So for the given problem, we can substitute in this place as Z and the denominator as 1 by Z. So let us consider the given problem. 1 plus sin pi by 10 plus I cos pi by 10 divided by 1 plus sin pi by 10 minus I cos pi by 10 whole power 10 is equal to 1 plus Z divided by 1 plus 1 by Z. Here we have to substitute 1 by Z and it is 1 plus Z whole to the power 10. So when you are taking the LCM in the denominator, you will get 1 plus Z divided by 1 plus Z divided by Z. So when you are taking the reciprocal, you can easily cancel this. So z will be in the numerator. So your answer will be z to the power 10. So now what is z? Sin pi by 10 plus I cos pi by 10. So we can write z power 10 is nothing but it is equal to sin pi by 10 plus I cos pi by 10 whole to the power 10. Students, be clear that you must bring the power inside only when cos is in the first term. So we have to take I outside. So when you are taking I outside, we have to take I power 10 outside. So it is I power 10. First take I power 10 and then you can write the term as cos pi by 10 minus I sin pi by 10. This is the property we have seen in De Moivre's theorem. So, when there is a power of any number, you have to take I power of that number outside and then you can replace cos and sin using the symbol of minus. Now we can write it as what is I power 10? Taking the multiple of 4, we will get here I square. So, z power 10 is nothing but I power 10 is minus I square, and bringing the power inside, it is cos 10 pi by 10 minus I sin 10 pi by 10. So cancelling 10, you will get this I square is minus 1 and cos pi is also minus 1 minus sin pi is 0. So what is minus 1 into minus 1? It is nothing but plus 1. So we got the answer for the problem. It is given. I have taken the final simplification as z power 10. So answer for this problem is 1. Now let us move to problem number 4. Problem number 4, it is given that if 2 cos alpha is equal to x plus 1 by x and 2 cos beta is equal to y plus 1 by y, we need to prove that 4 cases to be proved. So first let us find out what is x and what is y from the given data. So how can you find out x and how can you find out y? So to find out x, let us make this as a quadratic equation. So how to make this as quadratic equation? Multiply x here as well as here. So the term will become as x square plus 1 is equal to 2x cos alpha. So bringing to this side, x square minus 2 cos alpha x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay. Now it is in the quadratic equation. We can write it as, so now it is in the form of quadratic equation. We can write it as, take the value of x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Using this formula, we are going to find out what is x. Here a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 2 cos alpha and c is equal to 1. Okay. So substituting all this value, x is equal to minus of minus, it will become as plus. So 2 cos alpha plus or minus root of minus whole square will become as plus. 2 square is 4 cos square alpha minus 4 into AC. A is 1 and C is 1. So minus 4 divided by 2 into 1, that is 2. Now we can write this as x is equal to 2 cos alpha plus or minus, taking 4 outside, we are getting cos square alpha minus 1 divided by 2. So what is cos square alpha minus 1? You know that Sin square alpha plus cos square alpha equal to 1. So, we can write it here. Sin square alpha plus cos square alpha equal to 1. This is a trigonometric identity. Now we are having cos square alpha minus 1. So what is cos square alpha minus 1? It is equal to minus sin square alpha. So we are going to use minus sin square alpha inside. So let us take 4 outside, so it will become as 2 root of minus sin square alpha divided by 2. So taking 2 common, we can cancel the 2, cos alpha plus or minus root of minus 1 is I. Root of minus 1 is I. Root of sin square alpha is sin alpha. So we can write like this, divided by 2. So 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So we are having x is equal to cos alpha plus or minus I sin alpha. Students, now listen that if x is equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha, then 1 by x is equal to cos alpha minus I sin alpha. If you take x is equal to minus, then 1 by x is equal to plus. So whatever it is, you can take the value of x, and similarly we can say for y also, instead of alpha here we are having beta, instead of x here we are having y. So y is equal to cos beta plus or minus I sin beta. So let us go to this. So let us consider now, let x is equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha. So similarly we can say y is equal to cos beta, cos beta plus I sin beta. So from this we can say that 1 by x is equal to cos alpha minus I sin alpha. Similarly here we can say that 1 by y is equal to cos beta minus I sin beta. So first, by the given equation we have to take what is x, what is y, what is 1 by x and what is 1 by y. And then now we can prove the given following. 4 things to be proved. First one, show that x by y plus y by x is equal to 2 cos alpha minus beta. So this is the first thing we need to prove. So what is x by y? First let us find out what is x by y. X by y is equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha divided by cos beta plus I sin beta. So yesterday we have seen that when the complex numbers polar form or in the division form, you can subtract the angles. So here the angle is alpha, here the angle is beta. So we can write this as cos alpha minus beta plus I sin alpha minus beta. So we can subtract the angles and write it as cos alpha plus minus beta plus I sin alpha minus beta. Now let us find out what is y by x. Y by x is nothing but 1 by x by y. 1 by x by y. So it is nothing but x by y the whole inverse. So whole inverse means we have to change only the sign of I. So cos alpha minus beta minus I sin of alpha minus beta. So let us take this as equation number 1, x by y, and y by x as equation number 2. Now adding these two, what you will get? Adding 1 and 2. 1 plus 2 implies x by y plus y by x is equal to, whenever we are adding the two complex number, we will get only the cos term. So 2 cos alpha minus beta. Hence we proved the case 1. So let us move to subdivision 2. it is to prove that, show that xy minus 1 by xy is equal to I sine of alpha plus beta. So, in the previous case, it is x by y. In this case, we are having xy. So, xy is a product of two complex numbers. We are going to multiply cos alpha plus I sine alpha into cos alpha, beta y. So, cos beta plus I sine beta. So, we have to multiply this two. So, here multiplication means the angle should be added. So, we can write this as cos of alpha plus beta plus I sine of alpha plus beta. So, take this as equation number 1. So, here students, we can also use the Euler form to find out this. For this, you can write it as e power I alpha, and for this, you can write it as e power I beta. So, when you are multiplying two exponential terms, we will get a same base. So, the power should be added. Taking I common, it will become as I into alpha plus beta. So, e power I into alpha plus beta is nothing but cos of alpha plus beta plus I sine of alpha plus beta. So, to write the short form for this, we can use the Euler's form, or otherwise we can write it in the straight form as it is, polar form. So, now let us find out what is 1 by x by y. 1 by xy is equal to, it is nothing, we have to replace I in the place of I as minus I. So, cos of alpha plus beta minus I sine of alpha plus beta. So, take this as equation number 2. What is to prove? The two things should be subtracted. So, 1 minus 2 implies xy minus 1 by xy. So, whenever we are subtracting two complex number, cos will get cancelled and we have to add only sine. So, 2i sine of alpha plus beta. Hence, we proved the second subdivision. Now, we can go to the subdivision 3. For the first two subdivisions, there is no power of x. Now, in the third subdivision, we are having the power of x as x power m by y power n minus y power n divided by x power m is equal to 2i sine m alpha minus n beta. This is to be proved. So, to prove. So, let us find out what is x power m and y power n first. X power m is equal to cos alpha plus I sine alpha whole power m. So, what is this? Using De Moivre's theorem, we can take the power inside. So, it will become as cos m alpha plus I sine m alpha. Similarly, what is y power n? Y power n is cos beta plus I sine beta. We have to substitute the value for y, raising to the power of n. So, using De Moivre's theorem, bring the power inside. So, cos n beta plus I sine n beta. Now, we are going to divide x power m divided by y power n. So, x power m divided by y power n is equal to, we can divide this. When you are dividing, you will get the angles subtracted. So, let us write as it is. So, cos of m alpha minus n beta plus I sine of m alpha minus n beta. So, whenever it is in the division form, you have to subtract the angles. When it is in the product form, you have to add the angles. Now, we need to find out what is y power n by x power m. So, it is nothing but the inverse of x power m divided by y power n. Divided by y power n. So when we want to find out the inverse of the term, we have to change plus I as minus I. So cos m alpha minus n beta minus I sin into m alpha minus n beta. So let us take this as equation number 1, this is equation number 2. Now we have to subtract the two equations. Subtract means cos will get cancelled, we have to add sin. So by subtracting the two equation, 1 minus 2 implies x power m by y power n minus y power n by x power m is equal to, when you are subtracting, you will get 2i sine of m alpha minus n beta. So this is to be proved for subdivision 3. Subdivision 4, it is in the form of multiplication. You take it as homework. Okay. Thank you, students.